Hello. Hello, I'm live. I know I never give any notice, and I always say, this isn't going to last long because I'm the person that goes to the party, and after dessert, I'm like, I'm out of there. Um, Awkward social situations. But this is, I love you guys, so it's not awkward. Anyway, I was looking at things, just happened to find some things here before I went live, and well, Coco's on it now, so hold on. Let's see if we can move for a little pause. And that's me, or it was me. That was my guitar. That was my first album that came out. This I still have that dress somewhere. I hated my nose. I still have that nose. I kept that nose. Here, I'll tell you a story. So I went and I've had a love hate relationship with my face and my nose for a long time, my whole life. In fact, in high school, we did these masks. It was this big thing in high school where we did clay masks. And first, you had to put, um, to make the mask, you had to put the wet, what do you call it, the plaster of Paris strips on your face and have like straws in your nose. So your friend, your classmate would help you. You do each other's. And you let it dry. And then you would pour or press, I think we pressed clay into it. And then that was put in the kiln. And then you would paint it. And it was a mask. It was the mask project. And mine came out, and I was like, oh my God, is my nose that big? Is my nose really that big? It horrified me. And I remember I sort of in secret used the little whittling ceramic tool before it was in the kiln, and I shaved down the nose. And I still have that mask. I'm trying to make mine like a Phantom of the Opera type of thing, and I had it white, glazed white with blue to show the shadows of like the eye and the nose and the face. But I literally and it was still big. I, I whittled down the nose and it was still big. And it got to the point where it's like, if I keep, first of all, if I keep whittling it down, the nose is going to fall off and or it'll be obvious and it'll show my insecurity. So I just left it alone. Yeah, I've always had a love hate relationship with my nose. In junior high, I had continuous dreams of the Statue of Liberty, and it wasn't until later when I sort of put a connection together because that was a French sculptor who designed the Statue of Liberty, Lady Liberty, who was sent to America as a gift, and that I thought, maybe it's not so bad having this nose. The Statue of Liberty has this nose. I'll deal with it. I'll just and then Picasso. I got into Picasso, and all the women that he would paint had freaky distorted faces like body dysmorphia from my brain. And I thought, God or whoever created me with this nose, this face, and I used to call, I wrote a story about a boy that had Quasimodo, a hunchback, and it was about me and my awkward features and my awkward self. Anyway, but Picasso, I was a Picasso. That's who I am. However, still had insecurities. I hate selfies. Cameras distort things. And going on stage has always been hard because the lights, what do the lights do? They go onto your face and they create a shadow here. So, like this huge nose, and my nose would take over everything. It was just this nose. Oh, all my insecurities. So, anyway, um, I remember going at one point, I had a consultation at a plastic surgeon's place, and it was in the fancy part of town. So I was already intimidated with that. Like, I don't belong here. I don't belong here. So I go, and with his assistant, there's fancy chairs. You know how doctors' offices are. Everything was fancy, and I was just like, I'm in the wrong place, but I'm here. I made this commitment. I'm going to do this. So he measures my nose and my face, and he's like, yeah, we could shave this off and do this. And I said, what about my nostrils? Are my nostrils big? Because I always felt like from my dad's side of the family that everyone had big nostrils, and I didn't want that. And he said, "No, your nostrils are perfect." Yes, yes. There went that. It was weird how when he said that, that body dysmorphia disappeared in my head. I was like, "Good, I don't have the big nostrils." But I do have the Statue of Liberty nose, which is sort of an androgynous thing if you think about it. But French women, um, it's the Romanesque, it's the Roman nose. The what do they call it in paintings where women all have that sort of the Rubenesque, right? Rubenesque. And now that's the paintings that I love. That's the people's pictures that I see, and they have strong noses. I love that. I still don't like myself, but anyway, this picture, I was very insecure, and what can you say? I've just grown. I just go, well, I've lived with this nose my whole life. I'll just continue on. I never went back to that plastic surgeon. And the way he made the sound, the things that, this shave this down and cut this open and I just thought, when will it end? When's it going to end? It won't end. If I do that, it's never going to end because I knew I had body dysmorphic disorder and it was never going to like the way I looked. And I have found out from other people who have had rhinoplasty that it never ends. They're never happy. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Janet. Yeah, it is a good picture. I like it. I've grown to like this picture now. I have some others. If I can find them, I'll show you. Amid the divorce, a lot of things were sort of lost. And if I opened up my old Facebook, I could probably find some pictures. But yeah, thank you, Janet. I appreciate that. Let's see. What else? Oh, yeah. I did right before the pandemic. It was the fall of 2019. It was after my mother died. And I'd always wanted to get my lips done. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I look at it now and I'm happy with it. It's cute, you look back and you go, "Oh, that was me." That was me. So, yeah, that's good. I remember that was after I had done a show because my CD had come out. And I'll tell you the story. I'll finish the other story later. So I had done the CD, had a show in Kansas City, and hosted this girl from Chicago. I'll say her name, Ripley Kane. Housed her, fed her, entertained her. We had the gig together. She did hers first, then I did mine, or vice versa. I did mine. I was the opening act. She did hers. And and she complained about the venue. She complained about the music there. And then afterwards, her and her friends told me I should never perform. I was a horrible performer. And this is after I'd had this girl who I'd mentored who took over all my gigs, and it was crazy. It was a crazy time, very painful time in my life, where I was trying really hard to be a musician songwriter in town, and then everything just like ugh, yeah. And so, and yeah, they told me you should never perform, never. And she did say you're a great fucking songwriter, but you should never perform ever. And I cried later in private, cried and cried and cried and cried. And then I thought, fuck them. I'm still going to perform. And I had a vision of what I wanted to be and I went from this to like, no, I did this, but then later on I did like some blonde and stuff, which I love. I like have two personalities. I have blonde Amy and then this Amy, and this is more me. But anyway, and I worked hard and I did find some success, but when people do that, it takes away your confidence. I was really upset. I remember it really hurt me, but I seem to attract that in my life where just when I'm at the peak of something, the universe sends what I call a detractor to put all this doubt in my head. And anyway, I don't have to let them, but it does happen. I have people who try to steal my thunder. They steal my gigs. They steal my ideas. And then they get mad at me. And I'm like, I did nothing. All I ever did was just exist and try to do my own thing. So whatever. Got to keep on keeping on. Okay, the story of so it was before the pandemic. It was the fall of 2019. I wanted to get lip injections, and so I went in, and on the radio was John Mayer, "Your Body is the Wonderland," and I was like, "Oh my God, this is the worst. This is like the worst thing ever. I can't." And as I walked into the doctor's office, this guy held the door open for me, and I thought, well, I must not be too hideous. The guy, I hate showing my insecurity, okay, but I do have body dysmorphic disorder, and I share it. It's part of OCD. It's part of depression. It's part from my childhood. My mother calling me ugly. It's all part of that. So I own that. I own my insecurity, but also I know where it comes from. Anyway, so a guy held the door open for me, and I thought, well, wow, okay, that's nice. And then, okay, go in there. He shoots number stuff all over, Novocaine stuff all over my face first, which is worse. I would have rather just had the shots of the filler than all that. And that took a long time. And then they take the hideous picture of you before, where you see just how hideous you are, with the worst camera angle ever and the worst lighting. Okay, so John Mayer, "Your Body is a Wonderland," on the countertop radio as he's working all over. And then he does my lips. And now they look much better, he says. They're much more even. I'm like, yeah, they look better. And inside, there's a sinking feeling inside of me of, what have I done? What have I done? And then leaving, they're huge because they're all swollen and the trauma of that. And I had to get gas. And then hide my lips for a week because they were hideous. And I remember just thinking, what did I do? What did I do? I mutilated myself. Later on, after the swelling went down, I actually really did like the lip injections. I thought they looked really good. And, so I don't have judgment against people that do Botox and fillers. None. I have no judgment. A lot of people that do it, however, don't even need it. Like, they literally don't need it. So I just think we all have our insecurities. But yeah, that was interesting to do that. And I've never really told anyone that story, I don't think. So, yeah, the insecurities of I have a Leo moon, which means I want to perform, but my insecurities are so deep-seated, and they affect me. Like, going on stage, that part of me wants to be on stage, wants to be a performer, wants to be this girl, this confident girl, woman, lady, whatever. And then my insecurities, and yeah, it's from my childhood, deep-seated insecurities, probably past life things too. It's hard, It's funny how I go and I'll see somebody and I'll be like, oh my God, they're so good. I love them. And I'll like send them emails, "You're so good." And then they blow up, and then next thing you know, they're on TV and they're making millions of records, or their book is selling, or their channel is doing great, And then and what happens is I manifest for other people, but then for myself, but I do things with love and with my heart. I fail a lot, but I do it with my heart. So whatever, I'm happy with everything. And I wouldn't do it if I didn't love doing it. And I love you guys. I love you. So that's why I'm here. Yes, we do. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard being a human. And also think about this. As soon as they started to have a lot of things like cameras on phones, and which are really harsh, or Target self-checkout cameras, which are the worst ever. And Zoom. I've heard that people have gotten Botox and plastic surgery because of Zoom. Well, there's a handy little trick. I'll tell you the trick. Oh, yes, you're right. And I'm very appreciative of that. And then look at the journey I've been here, Janet, like, and you and I and all of us. I've been here since probably about 2015, 16, maybe before. And I was here all through the pandemic and the elections. And it was cathartic for me. And it was a journey that we all went through together, and we're still going through. So yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me to go on every day. Like there's many days I don't do it. And it's like don't record because if I record then I erase it. So I force myself to go live because if I don't go live, I'm never gonna be on here. So that's why I like to be on with Jamie or any Jamie and I love to be on with Jamie and other people who wanted like Allie and others because then I don't focus on myself because I don't want to focus on I honestly don't want to focus on this. Now Coco, she wants to focus on me. Look at that. Okay, so we'll move it. I'm going to talk about the news and politics, and I'm going to actually go to some news things and read them because it's kind of confusing what's going on right now. But I found this old Life magazine. I randomly used to more because my local half price bookstore would sell these for like $3. Yeah, $3. And then other people started figuring out that you could do it, and then they raised the price, and then everybody was buying them. So for a while there, I was the only person. I love old newspapers and magazines. I think that comes from it's a time travel. I love time travel, and it's a mindset of I could time travel through this, and also information as a writer through this, and also um, what's the other thing? I don't know. I just love it. I grew up in a library, and I have keen memories, very fond memories of sitting in the old library. My mother, it was like Mayberry, long, long time ago. Our town took a long time to come to the modern day, and we still had that little main street like Mayberry, and it's still there. It's still there. The little shops, the hardware store, the drugstore that had literally, for one split moment of time when I was a little girl, they had a soda fountain. I've never forgotten that. And then, oh, cool. Nice. My sister was in life as a school student in Cincinnati. Cool. I love that. Hey, you know what? I was thinking about WKRP in Cincinnati today. I love that show. I love that show. Was it picture? Oh, okay, cool. Well, maybe she would. And here, I mean, look at these pictures. I was going to say that part of it too. Okay, so I grew up in a library and I looked at the magazines and newspapers religiously. I would have to kill flies. I know, I love that show too. I love WKRP in Cincinnati. Just hearing that music, like that's time travel for me when I hear the music to that show. And I based a story off of Johnny Fever. I'll have to show you guys that. That was so cathartic for me to write about this guy I called Johnny Cool, the DJ, and I took him from Galena, Kansas to um, Woodstock with Janis Joplin to California, a DJ in California, and he got fired for saying, what did he say? I need to find it. I remember I was having a lot of migraines and I had a lot of coffee and I was on this roll and I wrote that story. It was just mind blowing how I wrote that story. I loved it. I was in his head. I loved it so much. Yes, the turkey drop episode. I've told my daughter about that and she was like, they were supposed to fly. They have wings. They're supposed to fly. Well, anyway, okay. I'm rambling a lot. So I thought this was interesting because um, they said the Super Bowl that more people watched the Super Bowl than they thought they had projected, and in fact, it had the highest ratings since we went to the moon. And then I find this, and I'm like, well, that's interesting because I literally was just thinking about that this morning. So, like, look at this. For a while there, and that looks like Nancy Sinatra, but look at her hair, her makeup. I totally idolized. I mean, I would still do it when I was blonde. That's like the look I went for. And also Christine McVie from Fleetwood Mac. I didn't want to be Stevie Nicks, although I love Stevie Nicks. I wanted to be Christine McVie, and we're talking about just like even just a few years ago. And I was in a show, and I had my blonde hair, and one of the guys that worked there, much younger than me, and he came up to me and he said, it was before I had to go on, and he said, "You've heard of Christine McVie, haven't you?" And I'm like, "Of course." And then it hit me. I was like, "Oh, that's such a compliment. That is such a freaking compliment. I love that." Um, yeah, I love her. Somebody asked me to do a tribute band for Fleetwood Mac and had me be Christine. I would do it in a heartbeat. I love that. The sepia, that sort of 70s gold, sunny. I love it so much. Yeah, they're so good. I also would be Janis Joplin, but I don't. Nobody can sing like Janis. If I could, go down to the crossroads, make a deal, I would want to be. I would want to sing like Janis Joplin, but honestly, nobody should even try. That's just impossible. I sound more like Dusty Springfield, and I really am. See, the light just got brighter too when I said that. See, Dusty has visited me before. I love Dusty Springfield, and I would do. Oh my God! Yeah, I would do a Dusty Springfield tribute show. Hands down, dream of my life. I wish somebody would ask me. I would do that. I would do that. And yes, I would bleach my hair or just wear a wig or whatever. Where is it? That picture again. Because she did look like Dusty. Where can I find? There she is. Okay. That's that style, Dusty Springfield. I would do it in a heartbeat. Somebody asked me. I've written like 10 or 11 books for a while when my kids were really little till now. I wrote a ton. And in a way I wrote myself out. I love writing, but I kind of did write myself out, and I kind of am at the point where I want to do something. Acting, I would do some acting, but singing, I'm supposed to be a singer. I know it's funny because even today I was asking, what am I supposed to do with my life? And when I pull cards, it says creative and it says writing. Well, I know I'm always going to be a writer, but when I literally get down to talking about it, and I say, if someone gave me $1 million, what would I do? It's always music. So clearly, I should be singing again and doing something. So yeah, and yes, I would be Dusty Springfield. I got to be Joni Mitchell in a woman's review show, and I was like, really? What? What? I wish I had a picture of I had the long blonde hair, and I put like a braid over here, and we got to do like the makeup and eyelashes, and I had this white lace dress, and I would put flowers in my hair, and then I would go out and I had my guitar tuned. Joni has specific tunings, and I had to sing the parking lot song, which I have allergies right now, but um, they pay. So I'd go out. Right before me was the girl who was Janis Joplin, and I was like grooving backstage. I just loved it. And then I would walk out with my bare feet, braids in my hair, the lace dress, and my guitar, and I would sit on a stool and I would just sing. Parking lot. They paved paradise and put up a parking lot with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always mean to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? You pay paradise and put up a parking lot. Okay, so I'd sing that. And I would get all the way and I'd do, up there, the high notes, the low notes. And then at the end, I'd have to do that stupid giggle that she does on the recording. And come to find out that the director didn't like that giggle, but because he was a perfectionist and it was in the recording, he made me do it. So I'd have to fake the stupid giggle at the end of every song every night. And he came up to me afterwards and he said, "God, I hate that giggle." It's like, well, what'd you make me do it for? Anyway, it was fun. I loved that I was able to create Joni Mitchell and be her. It was such an honor to be here. I loved it so much. Yeah, love it too. Okay, Jamie says, you love Dusty because you live in the middle of nowhere. Because it's dusty? Is that what it is? Or because, clarify. I think I know what you mean, but I'm not sure. Does it have like a double meaning? Like you're in the middle of nowhere and it's dusty? Or you like Dusty because she hits the right spot, makes you not feel lonely? What is it? What's okay, Coco is here. Coco is here. I will randomly start singing Dusty Springfield and Coco will come out of nowhere. Her eyes are like Davy Jones, where she gets like stars or like hearts in her eyes or stars or whatever. Okay, Coco, you ready? She gets randy when I sing Dusty Springfield. She might be a little gay. It's okay though. It's okay to be gay. We're all a little gay, aren't we? Okay. Coco, you ready? When I said I needed you. She's getting that look on her face. You said you would always stay. It wasn't me who changed, but you, and now you've gone away. You don't have to say you love me, just be close at hand. You don't have to stay forever, I will understand. Believe me, I can't help but love you. But believe me, I'd never my other cat came. She hates it when I sing and she's gonna bite me. She's gonna bite me. It makes her Randy too. Like my cats are weird. All my cats are gay. Oh my god. Don't bite me, please. There's not a bird in my mouth. Okay. Okay, what was the song? She had a number one song in the UK called The Middle of Nowhere. Oh, you know what? I've never heard it, so I bet you anything that it's one of those things like Queen, where America didn't release it for whatever, probably some copyright, um, whatever reason, publishing reason that they can't. I don't know. I'll have to go listen to it. I know she worked with the Pet Shop Boys, so I've heard those a lot. Wonderful. Thank you, Janet. Thank you. Thank you. I'm a great singer. I'm okay. I was telling my daughter the other day because she's in theater, and she, with theater, you have to do some musicals sometimes. And I told her that how hard it has been for me in my life with this. I'm an alto, and she's an alto. And I said, altos are good though, because you can be a soprano. Altos, we can push ourselves and we can go up there and be a soprano. But what's hard for me is this middle point of my voice. It's like when you get up to G, you go C, D, E, F, G, and then I get this crack. It's where my voice shifts from normal voice to falsetto, which you use more air. You have to go down to the diaphragm and really, so I had to learn more than other singers how to get past this breaking point in my voice. And that's something like Dusty. Dusty has a whisper in her voice that people don't realize she had a whisper in her voice. People didn't realize how much control she had over her voice to make that sound, that really breathy sound. So anyway, I would learn to go really low. I can get really low, or I can go up and I can be high C. It's hard. So I was in a show, and the music director was testing everybody's voice in the musical. And he got to me and he was like, okay, let's see how high up she can go. Okay, you got up to high C, and now let's see how low. And he got me where I went really low, and everybody was laughing. Typical me, everybody's laughing at me. And he said, no, that's money. And when he said that, it really clicked something in me. And also, the way I had to develop my voice, I remember starting off, because I was mimicking the radio, like Madonna and people like that, Paula Abdul or whoever, Celine Dion, whoever. I love Celine Dion. But that sort of pop sound, and very Debbie Gibson or Tiffany, yes, Tiffany, who I look like a little bit. And I was like, I stabbed, mentally stabbing that sound in my voice. No, I cannot. It was just so not authentic to me. So I really sat back and thought, what is my voice? And it came to me that the authenticity in my voice was a really much deeper, warmer sound, like Karen Carpenter, Dusty Springfield, people like that. Amy Mann, Lucinda Williams, who I've been compared to. And once I figured that out, I really found out what my voice sounded like. So now when I write songs, it's so weird. I was not going to come on here and talk about any of this. It's so weird. Well, so when I write songs, I write them utilizing it's like my voice is my comfort. As I write a song, it's not the guitar chords, it's my voice. My voice is my greatest instrument. Isn't this weird? I was not going to talk about this today. So, yeah. Hi, Fatima. How you doing? Blessings to you too. Thanks for being here. We will talk about some politics. I was doing this. I was trying to find some other pictures of me from some promo. If I go look, I could find some CDs and show you. I could do that real quick. If you talk amongst yourself. I'll be right back. Okay. I didn't find the pictures, but I found some records, so here I am. I'm still here. You are work lurking? Where do you work, Janet? You don't have to give a location or anything. Look, it's Paul McCartney. Linda took this picture. Paul McCartney. I didn't even know that I had this record. I had no recollection. The famous Paul picks his nose pictures in there. That's right. There it is. McCartney. Isn't it Ram? Or is it just McCartney? No, it's not Ram. All right, that. Okay, let me give you the story, the backstory of this one. You work in an accounting office. My sister is an accountant. So that's cool. Okay, Adamo. Many people don't know who this man is. He's a man now. He was young when he made this. I found this. I used to go through there was an old, because I dropped out of college. Great idea. And I would have hours to spend. I had a job. But anyway, I would go to this old thrift store and I would look through records, and I found this and I took it home, and it became one of my favorite records. I've listened to it. It's all in French. But since then, I found out that people in France love Adamo. And let's see, what's the song? I wish I tried to get this record player working, but I couldn't. I want to play some records for you guys. So, comme toujours, le barbu sans barbe. Do I sound like Peter Sellers when I? Oh, you hire people with disabilities. Wonderful. I love that. That's wherever I end up working more in my life, if I do, if I don't become famous, right? I want to always be around people who have autism and some sort of disability, because they're the most beautiful people and they make me happy. And I want to be somewhere like that. I don't want to be where everybody has an ego and all that stuff. I want to be with people who have good hearts and are fun to be with and lovely people. So that's great. I love that. Adamo. Well, you should look him up. If I had my record player, I would play this for you. Maybe I will sometime. I want to do that. I want to have a night where I do like drunk record playing. Mind you, I never really get drunk. Like a beer makes me drunk. So that's about all I can handle. But this is one of my favorite records. Yeah, no, most people have never heard of him, but it's one of my favorite records. I've listened to it over and over and over and over again. Here we go. Carole King, Tapestry. Great songwriter, obviously. We all know that. She's someone who had the non-perfect nose, but if she had gotten a nose job, it would have changed her. Like Barbara Streisand, she said she couldn't change her nose because it would have changed her sound. And I agree. I think that that's something for everyone to consider. What is on here? Okay. Rick Nelson, not Ricky. He didn't want to be called Ricky anymore when he grew up. Rick Nelson. I love Rick Nelson. I have a huge adoration of him. Garden Party. He mentions John and Yoko in there. And I love Rick Nelson. I love him. He had the greatest slide guitar, like electric slide player in the world. Okay, Carly Simon. I love her. That movie where she's okay, it's Meryl Streep and God, Jack Nicholson. Jamie, you know the name of that movie. And that song is such a great song. Anyway, what's on here? You're so vain. You probably think the song is about you. You okay? Nobody does it better. Sometimes I wish they all could. Nobody does it half as sweet as you. Why'd you have to be so good? I wasn't looking, but somehow I found you. There's some kind of magic in your love light. I love Carly Simon so freaking much. I love her. Like heaven above you. The Temptations. I don't remember having these records. I just think I had time when I was really deep into writing. I would take a break and go to the record store or the bookstore. Like this, I'm talking like 4 years ago. I don't have memories of some of these things. But anyway, Papa was a Rolling Stone. The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. That's a great song. America. Dan Peek. I love Dan Peek. Heartburn. It's Heartburn. It makes me want to watch the movie. That's a great movie. I think, even though Jack Nicholson is, he's a jerk in the movie, we love him. He did such a good job playing a jerk. Can you imagine? Let's say Michael Caine was up for that role. It wouldn't have been right. But anyway, I love the band America, Dan Peek, Jerry Bunnell, Dewey Bunnell, and Jerry Buckley. I just love them. What is this, Holiday? And it's produced by George Martin, who worked with the Beatles. And I'm surprised that more people don't talk about America. I freaking love them. This is my favorite. I've listened to this over and over again. This is after Dan Peek left. One of my favorite songs is All Around, listening, you will hear the sound. And Forever. It's a great album. America. Okay, what else? What do we have here? Eagles. The same guy who shot the cover for America shot this cover. Harry. He was with the Monkees too. Then he did the Doors. Witchy Woman. Anyway, there's the Eagles. I love the Eagles. The Beatles. Rubber Soul. And this is mono. It's mono EMI. I've got the original. I don't remember this. I also have, it's Parlophone. I also have the Capitol version, which is the first one I had. All I know. I could do song requests. I could. That would be cool. I'm probably going to get a copyright strike, to be honest, which is no fun. Parlophone. If you guys don't know, the Beatles started with EMI and Parlophone. That was with George Martin, and it was Abbey Road was EMI. And what America did was, when America signed with them, the publishing and the records, they cut up their records. So Rubber Soul in England was the album that the Beatles created, the playlist and everything. And then Capitol Records would take it and rip it up and sell Rubber Soul as 3 different albums. And the Beatles really hated that. They really hated it. Plus, people like me hate it because you don't get the artistry of the mind, what the idea of the song list, the story. To me, albums are, maybe it's autistic of me, but I love albums. I love the way they smell, I love the way they sound, and I love that albums you could look at them, you could read the lyrics, and you just get lost. Yeah, it's a little weird, but Drive my car, Norwegian Wood. You won't see me, nowhere, man. Think for yourself. The word Michelle. What goes on, girl? I'm looking through you. I'm looking through you. Where did you go? I thought I knew you. What did I know? Um, in my life, beautiful, which is like Strawberry Fields before Strawberry Fields. Wait, wait. If I needed someone, great song. Run for your life, you can, little girl. Not John's favorite song, Elton John. I love Elton John. Tiny Dancer is my favorite song. I'm that person that when I hear Tiny Dancer, I'm like, ah. Okay, Bread. Do you remember Bread? The Guitar Man. Fancy Dancer. Oh my God, I had this, okay, so I was writing a lot of stuff set in the 70s, and I would listen to this album a lot, and I also would watch, do you remember the chef guy, Graham Kerr? And he was always drunk, and he was like, I don't know. I was really into that. I love America, and I love Bread. That was the whole era of my life. Another one of my favorite albums from America. I don't think I have it. I've screwed this up. There's Aha. That's a great album. Classical. I love classical music. I love Beethoven. I love Tchaikovsky. The Byrds. I have the Byrds. Okay, this is it. America. There's a song in here I love. So I used to make cookies and listen to this album. Watership Down. That's the song. I love it. Watership Down. There's a story to be told from the young and from the old. You can hear it from the distance, with your ears to the ground. I can't remember all the words. Eagles. We have Ringo Starr. Goodnight, Vienna. That's about it. I mean, I have a lot of albums. Oh, that's right. That's right. Hat Trick, America Hat Trick. Okay, loaded question. Hold on. The Beatles Help. It has the orchestrations by George Martin in here. So, okay, Jamie, what is a loaded question? What's your question? Help. Help me. The Beatles. Okay, but are you guys ready for this? Are you ready? I bought this at a record store when I was 18. And long after this is a reissue. Are you ready? This could get me a strike. It's John and Yoko. Oh my God. I won't show you the front, but it's two virgins. Anyway. Oh my God, they're naked. That's about it. Yeah, I won't. So there's that. Yeah, sometime I'll have to play records if I don't get copyright strikes. I'm awaiting. What's the question? Well, I could still talk politics here. We could just go over, I'll look up some stories here and we'll just kind of go over them because I know that Jack Smith instantly brings down the energy. Jack Smith. Okay, so the judge said that Jack Smith has a week to do something and say something about the Supreme Court and immunity. I don't think he's going to need a week. I think he's going to do it tonight. In fact, I think that Jack Smith has something written for every time Eileen Cannon or somebody tells him, makes a roadblock, he already has a response. So I'll wait for you, Jamie. I'll wait. What's the loaded question? Okay, so I'm going to wait for Jamie and I'm going to look up stories real quick. Snow, anybody in the snow right now? I'm warm, like it's a spring day. In fact, the trees are getting buds on them. There's grass growing. It's It's kind of strange. Okay, look at this. I'll read this headline to you. Nikki Haley in Nevada primary loses to surprise challenger. Well, who is that? Who's the surprise challenger? Voters overwhelmingly opted for surprise challenger none of these candidates over Haley. See, there's something weird about that. I think there's something weird going on. Now, I know a lot of people don't like her, but a lot of people do, and a lot of people don't want 45. I think there's something weird going on with the primaries. I really do. Anything else? Judge deals blow to Fani Willis, warns of disqualification. She won't be disqualified. She's going to be fine. That's about it. Well, anyway, that's a bunch of news. Okay, this afternoon. Oh, Janet, you had snow in Kentucky last night? Oh, hello, Sybil. Hi, Sybil. Nice to see you. Yay. Yeah, it's warm. It's warm here in Kansas. It's really strange. Like I said, the grass is growing, and I'm like, am I gonna have to mow? I don't want to mow the grass. That's the one thing I hate. So one thing I hate about being a single woman is that I have to freaking mow the grass. It sucks. I hate it. Plus I need to trim the trees and everything else. It sucks. Okay, Jamie. Okay, this afternoon I went to a preview of my friend's play Nicole and Ron. It's about the double murder in Brentwood. It was the OJ. Yeah, Ron was the guy that Nicole Simpson dated and was murdered with. Okay. Does your intuition tell you OJ was guilty? Does he remember what he did? Okay. For entertainment purposes only, yes. I knew instantly that OJ did it. And that it was a fit of rage. And yes, that sort of narcissistic part of himself lies to survive and convinces himself that he didn't do it, or that if he did, it was her fault. He had warned her. And this guy shouldn't have been with her. Everybody should have known. Everybody in the world should have known OJ's rules, and they broke the rules. So he had to do what he did. If he did it, he goes back and forth, and narcissists lie to survive, and that's what he's doing his whole life. And the mere fact that he thought he could steal items back, memorabilia that belonged to him back, that's that narcissism of everything's mine, you're mine, this is mine, I didn't do anything wrong, the world owes me. And then it got him in trouble, which is appropriate because he's guilty. The one thing I never understood, though, so yes, he did it. It was a blind rage. He did it. I do think his mind blocks it out a lot. Like he has memory lapses a lot. But why did they have to have a million police cars chasing him down the highway? They could have just met him at the airport or wherever he was. It just, the whole thing just seemed kind of strange. And yeah, but yeah, he did it. It's for entertainment purposes only. He did it. And what gets me is that he had custody of the kids after he was found not guilty. And that's always sort of bothered me. But they're fine. So it's all worked out. But psychologically, though, you wonder. Anything else? Okay, so we're still talking about the news. So I do think that Jack Smith will either tonight, soon, will have an answer. He doesn't need a week to decide about this whole immunity. He knows what he wants. He wants the case to go forward. He wants everything to move forward as fast as possible. I'm going to read from here. Okay. Supreme Court gives Smith 1 week to respond to Trump on immunity. He doesn't need a week. Anything else? IRS, taxes. I'm waiting for my tax refund. What do you guys think about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce? What do you think about how he yelled at Coach Andy Reid? And I'm from Kansas City, so I would say that primarily Mahomes has been our man, our star football player. And I don't watch a lot of football, but I've never heard anything bad about Travis Kelce. But football by itself is just a brutal sport. And It's, in fact, the family doctor told me when I asked about my son when he was young, I said, "Do you think he should play football?" And she said, "No, do not sign him up for football." And here we go. We're talking about O.J. Simpson. I just realized there's so many head injuries. People have head injuries and neck and but the head injuries, concussions are long lasting. It's a brutal sport, and it's an American sport. In America, we love brutal things. We have guns everywhere. We have violence in movies and TV, and our sports are violent. And so the guy, Taylor Swift's boyfriend, yells violently at Andy Reid, the coach, and everybody's like, "Oh, red flag, red flag." It is kind of a red flag, to be honest, because he was out of control. But why do we love football so much? That's my question. Why do we love violent sports and movies and TV shows so much? Why do we do that? When we could switch it up. I don't know. I'm just saying. People get mad about that. But the red flag to me really is the sport itself. It's a very violent sport. Uh-oh. I'll have to get that later. Phone call. Let's see. Didn't watch the game. I watched the last. I had it on in solidarity. I had it on, and then I think I fell asleep. It was around 9 o'clock. I fell asleep for 5 minutes. Okay, here's the thing. I didn't have anything to do with them winning, but this happened last year too. The Chiefs were at the Super Bowl last year, and they were losing, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're gonna lose!" And I remember I said some manifestation prayer, and then I turned the channel off, and when I turned it back on, they had won. And the same thing happened Sunday night. I was like, "Okay, I see they're losing. I don't want them to lose. Um, I pray that the Chiefs win. If it's for the greater good, I pray the Chiefs win." I fell asleep and I wake up and they won, and there was fireworks everywhere outside. So I didn't have anything to do with it, but maybe I did a little bit. Yeah, we all did. We all probably manifested. Why the whole Taylor Swift thing and the make 45 mad thing, maybe show 45 was really boss. I think there was probably a lot of that going on. Yeah, that was weird about how it tied in together. My cat's meowing. Football is full of so many strange terms. It is, and it's just, well, look at baseball. Baseball is a much more fun sport to watch, and also basketball is really fun. I don't know. And soccer has grown in popularity. I mean, that's actually, soccer is pretty brutal too. I played soccer in high school for a short while, and it's very aggressive. So I like ice skating. That's what I watch. And swimming and divers. I like diving. I like that. Track and field. Any other news? Let's see, since we're here. I mean, okay, ex-prosecutor. Court may politely recuse Judge Cannon after Jack Smith calls out clear error. That's kind of what we've all been seeing, that she was going to make some final fatal error and it would give him what he needed. And I think a lot of it is just that it's clear that she's delaying this trial on purpose for the fact that she had two separate meetings the other day, one with 45 and his lawyers and one with Jack Smith, and they weren't allowed to mix. I find that incredibly strange. I do think that she's going to be taken off the case, but it already did delay everything too much. It's almost been a year since she was placed on the case. Okay, raised in Cincinnati, watched more baseball growing up. I like baseball. It's fun. My uncle used to take me with my cousin to see baseball games, the Royals in Kansas City, and it was fun. I like it. Even, you know what, I even like, I played softball for one season when I was a kid in my small town. I thought that was fun, watching all the local games, and I was a horrible player. Speaking of WKRP in Cincinnati, that episode where they play against another radio station, and Les Nessman, here's a da 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 da. the violin. He had to practice violin instead of playing baseball. He wanted to be a baseball star, but his mother made him learn violin. And the sun is shining in his eyes. And he raised, it wasn't it him? He raised his mitt, closes his eyes, and it falls. The ball falls into his mitt, and he's the hero. And the great American story. He saved the game. So yeah, I like baseball too. I had fun. I remember playing and practicing catch, and it was fun. Okay, that was your next question about Eileen Cannon. She's really hard to get out of there. It's really tricky. You see how it's a game of chess. Jack Smith moves here, and then she's already here, and then there's all these other things that we don't really know about that are already all around. But he knows, Jack Smith knows, but he's got stuff behind him that's not helping him, like let's say Merrick Garland and others who won't do anything to help. And in fact, they're doing things that hurt. And it does seem like Jack Smith is all on his own, but he's smart enough and tenacious enough, and darn it, he has so much information. Yes, she will go. She will go. But it is really hard. I mean, it's an infestation of not only her, but all these people around. That's one thing I was thinking about, how 45 he's a repeat litigator, and he knows all the loopholes. He's been in and out of courtrooms his entire life, and he knows how to get through the loopholes. He knows how to just sneak under the law, and he gets away with it. But then when someone else does it, like Jack Smith and others are finally, and the judges are starting to find out how to play that game, to use the law, but just go underneath it and sneak through. Like when Jack Smith started to submit documents into the CSRS or whatever it was, and Eileen Cannon and Alina Habba were like, "Oh, do you see what he's doing? He's submitting documents." It's like, well, he's not taking documents. He's just submitting them. That's okay, isn't it? No one has to look at them yet. But they got really mad. Why? Because he was sort of sneakily like moving things from a closet into a garage, ready for moving day. He's getting ready. And they don't like that because their whole thing is to delay the trial. But he's figured out how to go under the radar and play by their rules, which are, they like to break the rules. I was upset about that report too, and I saw that Kim from Intuitive View, it was Friday night. She was mad. I was so happy because she was mad too, and we should be mad. We should be mad. Merrick Garland. Maybe I'm too harsh on him, but he has this power, and he had the power back at the midterms, and he wouldn't do anything. He had everything he needed to indict 45 at that time, and could have saved us from MTG and Boebert and others being, in the House, the Congress. And it really hurt democracy. And all he had to do was show that 45 had taken all these documents and the videos and everything else. He didn't do it. We can't because he wasn't even on the ballot. So, like Merrick Garland not reading this report that Her put out, and it was a clear political hit job on President Biden. I mean, they didn't say, "Do you have memory issues a lot? Do you remember when you got married? Do you remember your anniversary? Do you remember when you left office?" No. They asked when his son died. Like, who asks that? It was a clear emotional political hit. And I want to say that with PTSD from trauma, you do block out dates. You do have trouble remembering. And also what it does is now they're going to keep doing it too. They're going to keep hitting on that he's not with it. Look at me. His brain doesn't work. So it's going to keep hitting him. And guess what happens when people do that to you? It starts to affect you. Are you okay today? Do you feel, you look sick? So next thing you know, you start to feel sick. You think you're sick. And then the next day you call in to work or school. I don't feel good. All because people kept telling you don't look well. And So that worries me. President Biden is a strong man. He's a good man, and he's a good leader. But it doesn't. I've already seen where this has affected him, and now he's starting to, it's gotten to him a little bit. So we have to be strong for him. We have to hold him up. Okay, Amy, are you aware of John Lennon soccer quote? In Liverpool, soccer is not a matter of life or death. It's much more important than that. I know it's big in Liverpool, and I love that. I think that's great. I love his drawings. I have the walls and bridges in the other room where he did those cute little drawings of the soccer players. Hey, that's it's like Kansas City with the Chiefs. It's the same type of energy. It really is. Everybody got together. We're all the common cause. We want our team to do well, and so a lot of you go in the grocery stores or the wherever, and there's Chiefs merchandise everywhere. In fact, at my dinner theater that I work at, there's a Chiefs store and also a Chiefs exercise center right next to where I go in. So it's very similar. It's part of our society. It really is. Okay. Yes, that question was very inappropriate. And I'm telling you, they did it on purpose. They did it on purpose, and they're going to keep doing that. So you notice how now 45 said he wants to debate Biden, and that's part of what he's going to try to get him to stutter and stumble. But the thing about 45 is he is not all there, and we're talking about a guy. I mean, hello. I've always said that I feel bad for 45 that he has this, that he's a full-blown narcissist. He lies. Like, he lies about everything. And, he has memory problems, but he has delusional problems. It's not just memory. He's delusional. So have fun debating. I think Biden's very quick on his feet with answers. Does he stutter? Does he have a speech impediment? Yes. But so all I can think of is that, what is 45 going to go on a debate and mention dead relatives? Is that going to be his plan? Or Hunter Biden, things that he knows are going to dig into the heart of Biden? Well, that's very inappropriate, and I hope that there are rules. And maybe, whatever. I was going to say maybe Biden should say, I'm not going to debate you, but he's not going to do that. He'll debate him. I just have a memory of, do you remember when Hillary had to debate 45 and he would walk behind her? She was walking and he was like right behind her, and it was so creepy. That was the creepiest thing ever, how he did that. And Alec Baldwin reenacted that in Saturday Night Live, and it was funny, but it was creepy. I remember watching it that night going, oh my God, why is he doing that? Like he was just going to shove her over when she said the wrong thing or something. So yeah, any other questions? What else do we have going on? We have the Supreme Court immunity thing. Honestly, I feel like they may not even make a decision. They're just going to go, oh, we don't want to talk about that. That's too hard to talk. We can't decide. It's like, what does that mean? And they don't want to. They don't want to talk. Didn't they already say he doesn't have immunity, though? And then the whole thing, it's pretty clear they're not going to disqualify him from ballots. I do still feel like several states are going to do it. I've always seen five states will fight to keep him off their ballots. There's even a state where he didn't even sign the papers, so he's not on the ballot in that state. Okay. If Biden is reelected, will he serve another full term, or can you see Kamala Harris having to take over? Well, I know a lot of people. By Janet. Thanks for being here. Janet says it's almost 5. She has to get ready to leave. You all take care. Thank you, Janet. You take care too. Drive safe. Love you. Let's see. If Biden is reelected, will he serve another full term, or can you see Kamala Harris having to take over at some point? Okay. A lot of readers have said that they see Biden having health issues and stepping down and Kamala taking over. I can see that. I see it more as not him being sick so much as him just saying, well, I got us here and I'm not really into this anymore. And, you've been my understudy. You're more than accomplished and more than qualified. So and kind of like, here, America, here's your Hillary Clinton that you never got. So yeah, I could see it happening. I absolutely can. It's almost like there's two pathways. He rides it out to the end. He gets, his second term done. But it does, you can almost feel this drain of energy, like, he doesn't really want to be there. He doesn't want to do it. Um, so yeah, I do see Kamala stepping in. He's just going to be kind of like, what is that from? What's the movie? Is it A Star Is Born? Is that what it is? Where she gets to be in the spotlight. It's your turn, baby. Um, any other questions? Biden is going to win. Biden is going to win. Yes, he is. And Trump 45 won't have the being on the ballot excuse for, yeah. Yeah, there's that too. I mean, it's like you can almost see three different possibilities. He never makes it to like summertime, and the fall of the heavy, and I'm not talking about health or life, but just legalities and money and all these things going on, that 45 may not even make it through all of the election cycle. Um, Two, some people say they've seen him leaving the country. That could happen too. Three, he makes it, but he doesn't win. And I know he's not going to win. 100%. Bye, Janet. Thanks for being here. 100%. 45 is not going to win. Why? Because, as I've said before, the universe has been trying to birth him out of existence, out of the office for years now. And it's been a really hard labor. And we have the age of Aquarius coming in, right? And 45 is like hanging, he's clinging. He's clinging. You can't get rid of me. And it's like the final battle. All the planets are like, we're done with you. We used you. We used you for a purpose. You were the catalyst. And now we're done with you. Get out of here. And he's clinging. But it's really kind of sad because it really is over for him. And he's trying to get back into something that's an echo that's long gone. It's gone. It's over. And 45, that's 9. 9 is an ending. It's a power number, but it's an ending. He's done. He's done. And the only one that doesn't know it is him. He's got all these people sucking off him for money and prestige and power. But he's like the cow and the teats, and they're, give us more, give us more. As long as he's in power, we get what we want. But it's over. It's over. So, and he doesn't know it. He's too narcissistic to know that it's over. The universe is done. I wish he would listen to this. 45, you're done. Go enjoy your retirement. Go swim in your pool. Play golf. Cheat at golf, but play golf. Go write some books. Go have another teen. Don't have another Miss Teen pageant. Please don't do that. But go write a book or go travel. Go do something. But don't. This is over. It's over. It's like people that get married again and then they go, oh my God, I just remembered why I got divorced. So anyway, yeah, he's not coming back. What else? I think that's about it. Oh, did you see that story about, they said from 1964, they have, the CIA has video footage of an alien, a UFO, disabling a nuclear warhead that was a tester. And that's what a lot of us have seen happening with Ukraine. And even there's this picture I posted where Putin was standing there and there's UFOs like in the sky. I'm surprised that people don't talk about that picture more often. It was a crazy picture. By Janet. Jamie, Trump is like Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction. Yes, that's great. If Biden wins, they need to hide all the bunnies in Washington from him. Yes, and check their bathtubs. Yes, he's cray cray. The dude is cray cray. You can't get rid of him. He's like Mike Myers. Who's a guy? Yeah, the Friday the 13th. He just won't stop. Or Jaws. Why are you chasing us? Just go away. Go do something. Let us have fun. You know what people don't remember when people are like, I don't know about Biden. It's like, God, don't you remember what it was like when 45 was president? The chaos, the sheer chaos, and it's like when somebody has the worst pregnancy and labor. I said this on Threads. The worst pregnancy and labor, and they give birth, and 5 seconds later, like, I want another baby. Like, stop. Give yourself a moment to heal, and the baby is Chucky. They had Chucky. It's like, no, no, don't do it. Anyway, yeah, Glenn Close. I can't watch that movie. I've saw it and I can't watch it anymore. So yeah, yeah. But his legal issues really are. In fact, I wish I'd taken a screenshot. There was a story where he was like he's all angry, and he said, all these legal, all these legal things are ruining my campaign. It's like, yeah, well, we didn't ask you to campaign again. That's what I was going to say. Do you remember when it was announced that Biden won? It was a Saturday, and we were all so happy. And literally, like, not just in America, but all over the world, church bells were ringing. They had parades. People were crying in the streets, tears of joy. And we seem to have collective amnesia. I don't understand it. I remember it. I remember how happy I was. I remember around the end when there was a funeral and they televised it, and Obama did a speech, and I literally cried buckets of tears because I was like, I want him back. Please bring Obama back, because 45 was so hideous that Obama was like a breath of fresh air. He was like Jesus coming to your birthday party. Please, please bring back Obama. Biden is. I have to say that I love Biden. I really respect him. But my favorite president was Obama. Um, if they if they could bend the rules, and bring Obama back, hey, that would be awesome. I loved him so much. In fact, I had those dreams. I had 3 dreams where Obama hugged me. It was the best. I love him. So, well, you guys. Okay. If there's any truth in the story, the astronauts could see Trump's hair from their vantage point on the space station. Probably. But you ever seen that picture where it's like remember Bob's Big Boy? Do you remember? I saw one once on a road trip when my mom took us kids on a road trip, and we stopped at a Bob's Big Boy, a big sign, and he had that like curly lock and Trump, I don't know how he does it. It was even like one strand of hair that he had. Of course, he's Elvis, Who told him he looked like Elvis? He did that because he wanted to say that he was bigger than Taylor Swift. So who's bigger than Taylor Swift? Elvis, right? So that's why he said that. Who's bigger than Taylor Swift? Elvis. Okay, I'll say I'm Elvis. Yeah, that would be funny if he dyed his hair black. That would be hilarious. The evil Trump. Good for you. How could you like double evil, like double chocolate? Anyway, I think that's about it. Unless you have more questions, I'm about done. I can't think of anything else. I came on here talking about music, and any other requests? I'll show you this. It's the Blue album. I don't know if I have I think I had the Red album, but on cassettes. And I do have the White album. But can you find them all? Can you find all the Beatles? Jamie, do you know, is this Strawberry Fields? Or is it? Is it in Hyde Park? I'm gonna look. Unless you answer, I'll wait. I'll wait and see if you know. This is probably at their publishing company in London, or where is it? It's not EMI. Pretty sure. Hurry, Jamie, before I look. I want to see. My OCD is making me look. No, not Strawberry Fields. Okay, thank you. Okay, now I can look. Is it at Hyde Park or? It doesn't say. I'll have to look it up later and see. What's the other thing that I have here? I have no my Amethyst, the Beatles, All My Lovin'. This is a set of interviews taken in London on their Mad Day Out, which I love. That the pink. Okay, so Paul has the pink suit and he goes shirtless. John has a vest. He's shirtless, but he has a vest with his tennis shoes. George has the sort of stripy pants. Um, and Ringo's wearing like a suit with a ruffle thing. Okay, I had a dream. I woke up. It was one of those moments where you wake up from a dream and it's real, like you're really freaking there. I had a dream, and all the Beatles, it was on, they were like standing in the street corner, and they were all like this to me. And it was very vivid, all the clothing, the pink, Paul's pink, George's striped pants were so vivid, John's red hair, because he had dark, like auburn brownish red hair. It was very red in the dream. And they were like, and I woke up and like, oh, that was a cool dream. That was so awesome. And my daughter just texted me. What did my daughter say to me? Half price book. She went to the bookstore. Genetically, I'm slightly Mediterranean version of you, mother. I'm French. I'm French Irish. Oh, that guy. Okay. I was at the dinner theater. So I did the matinee. They closed because of the Super Bowl game. So they did no evening show on Sunday. They only did the matinee. So I worked matinee. I was tired because I'd worked the matinee in the evening the day before. I worked a double shift. Okay, so I'm in there and it's really busy and I'm filling people's water goblets. And then I see this guy come in and he's really tan and sort of weathered looking. He's wearing a cap and his hair in the back is sort of pulled back, looks kind of curly. It's gray and he's got the beard and he has very hooded eyes. And I think, do I know him? I don't know. I keep kind of like pouring water and like staring like, I know that guy. I know him. How do I know him? And then he turns and he looks at me with hooded eyes. And I was like, oh my God, that's that picture of my great, great, great grandfather from Ireland. It's him. And I was like, okay, this can't be. That's obviously, I don't know. I think it was a walk-in or something. It was like a spiritual walk-in. It was him. And I went home and looked at the pictures and I was like, yeah, that was him. So I don't know, probably all my money crap. I'm going to have, still don't have water. Ask me how I'm surviving. Don't ask. Yeah, I still don't, I'm waiting for my tax refund so I can get my water turned back on and all that lovely stuff. And I don't know, I think my ancestors and like John being on the curtain. And also that day, John was sending me the music that was playing because they play Muzak. It was like almost all Beatles songs for no reason. And that never happens. And the people that walked in, they were like, look at my ticket. And it was 7-Eleven. And the next person, look at my ticket. And it was 909. And I got both of those out of the whole theater. So John does that to me. And I just think I had a lot of spiritual connection on Sunday for some weird reason. And then he showed up on the curtain. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a spiritual walk-in of my grandfather. It was weird when he made eye contact with me. And I thought, I felt. I didn't think, I felt. It was strange. I'll post a picture later of my beautiful grandmother, who I look a lot. Well, I shouldn't say beautiful. Maybe she was beautiful. We have the same eyes. So, what else can I show you today? Here's America. This is another one of, I love all their albums. Daisy Jane, People in the Valley, Woman Tonight, Sister Golden Hair. That's a great song. Anyway, I love this. And yes, the story of America, they were army brats and met each other through their families who worked in the military around the world, Germany, England, etc. And then they became a band, a very young band around the time of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. So they sort of emulated their sound and were compared to them a lot, but they're really good. And Dan Peek is one of the best, he's dead now, one of the best guitar players. And he looked like he kind of looked like he was in between Jim Morrison and Bob Dylan or something. I just thought he was so cute. Anyway, they recorded with George Martin, who recorded the Beatles. However, I don't know if they ever recorded at Abbey Road's studios. Okay, so what are you teaching, Jamie? Amy, you know I'm teaching acting at the moment. I forgot to mention it at the Jacaranda nightclub. Oh, cool. It's at the Jacaranda. The Beatles' chosen residence before the cavern must be a good sign from John. Yeah, definitely. The Jacaranda. Isn't that where John would drink the White Russians? It was milk and whiskey or milk and rum or something, and he would get super drunk off of them. Not a good idea. Isn't that what got him drunk at the Smothers Brothers concert with the? You know what happened there. That's cool, Jamie. You should take some pictures for me, okay? Because I would love to see that. And that's about it, my friends. I'm gonna have to go. I got to feed my doggy. So, yep. Okay, I'm gonna shut this down. Unless you have another question, I'm gonna go. And thanks for being here. Okay, guys. Have a good night. Be kind. Manifest good things. Remember Ukraine. Pray for President Biden. And everything's going to be okay. So, yes, you'll get some photos. Brandy Alexander's. That's what it is. Okay, that's what it is. All right. Love you. I'll talk to you later. You guys have a great night. Bye.